6 months had passed since the Bekdu's final mission. The world looked different now. The alien occupation was broken. Most of their forces had retreated from Earth after losing their invasion fleet. Small groups still remained, but human forces were hunting them down. Do-hyun stood at the memorial overlooking the ocean. Ji-won's name was carved into the stone along with thousands of others who died fighting the invasion. He placed flowers at the base and stood in silence for a moment. Captain Kim, a voice called behind him. He turned to see a Navy admiral approaching. The man saluted. Do-hyun returned it. Admiral Tae-young, Do-hyun said. I wasn't expecting you. I came to see you personally. The admiral held out a folder. We're building a new fleet. 5 submarines, based on the Bekdu's design but with modern improvements. We want you to command them. Do-hyun took the folder but didn't open it. I'm retired. The war isn't over. The aliens may come back, and even if they don't, there are other threats out there. Earth needs defenders. We need you. What about my crew? They're already on board. Minho will captain his own vessel. Sang-hoon is overseeing the engineering division. Woonho is training new sonar operators. Dr. Yoonji is heading our xenotechnology research. They're waiting for you. Do-hyun looked back at the memorial, at Ji-won's name. She should be here. Her sacrifice saved millions of lives. The entire world knows her story. Schools are named after her. Children play games about the brave weapons officer who destroyed an alien fleet. She's a hero, Do-hyun, and so are you. Heroes don't feel like heroes, Do-hyun said quietly. We just do what needs to be done. Then come do what needs to be done. Lead this fleet. Protect Earth. Do-hyun finally opened the folder. Inside were blueprints for the new submarines, technical specifications, mission parameters, and a roster of crew members. Many were survivors from other vessels. All were volunteers. When do I start? He asked. The admiral smiled. Tomorrow. We have a situation that needs your expertise. What situation? Something unusual in the Mariana Trench. Our sensors detected a signal coming from the bottom, right where the Bekdu went down. Do-hyun's heart skipped. What kind of signal? We don't know. It's not human technology. Not alien technology either. Something else. Something old. The next day, Do-hyun stood on the dock looking at his new submarine. The vessel was sleek and modern but carried the same spirit as the Bekdu. The hull bore her name, Ji-won's pride, a tribute to the hero who saved them all. His crew assembled on deck. Minho was there, now commanding his own submarine docked nearby. Sang-hoon checked systems one final time. Chunho tested the sonar arrays. Dr. Yoonji reviewed the mission data. Good to be back, Captain, Minho said with a salute. Good to have the team together, Do-hyun replied. Let's find out what's down there. The submarine dove smoothly. Modern technology made the descent much easier than the old Bekdu. They reached 2,000 meters without any strain. Then 3,000, 4,000, deeper than any human vessel had gone before. Signal getting stronger, Junho reported. It's definitely coming from the trench floor. Can you identify it? Do-hyun asked. Negative. I've never heard anything like this. It's rhythmic. Almost like a heartbeat. Dr. Yoonji studied her instruments. The signal is coming from a structure. Metal but not human or alien design. Captain, I think we found something ancient. Ancient? Minho looked confused. How ancient? Thousands of years. Maybe more. This structure predates recorded human history. They descended further. The darkness was absolute now. No light from the surface reached these depths. Only the submarine's powerful lamps pierced the black water. Then they saw it, a massive structure embedded in the trench wall. It was built from material that gleamed even in the darkness. Geometric patterns covered its surface, symbols that resembled no known language. The structure was huge, easily the size of a city block. My God, Sang-hoon whispered. What is that? As they approached, the structure began to glow. Soft blue light spread across its surface. Then screens activated, displays showing star maps, technical diagrams, and images of Earth from space. It's reacting to us, Yoonji said, scanning us, analyzing. Should we retreat? Minho asked. No, Do-hyun said. We came here to find answers. Let's get them. A panel on the structure slid open. A beam of light shot out, scanning their submarine. Then a voice spoke. It came through their radio in perfect Korean. Greetings, children of Earth. We have waited long for you to return to the depths. Your ancestors built us before they forgot the old ways, before they moved to the surface and abandoned the ocean. The crew exchanged shocked glances. Ancestors? The structure was built by ancient humans. Who are you? Do-hyun asked. We are guardians, watchers. Your ancestors placed us here to monitor the deep places. To watch for the Leviathan. Leviathan? Yoonji leaned forward. What is that? An ancient threat. Something that existed before your species evolved. Your ancestors fought it long ago. They won but could not destroy it. So they sealed it away and built us to watch the seal. The displays changed. They showed images of a massive creature, something that looked like a cross between a ship and a living thing. It was enormous, dwarfing entire planets. The alien mining operations damaged the seal. The voice continued. The Leviathan is waking. It will be free in 3 cycles. 3 of your years, can we stop it? Do-hyun asked. Your ancestors left instructions. Knowledge, technology, everything you need is here, but you must act quickly. The Leviathan grows stronger every day. A compartment opened in the structure. Inside were devices, weapons, information crystals. Technology far beyond anything humans currently possessed. Take these gifts, the voice said. Learn from them. Prepare. When the Leviathan awakens, humanity must be ready to fight. Just as you fought the aliens, you must fight this greater threat. Do-hyun looked at his crew. They had just finished one war. Now they were being told another was coming. A war against something ancient and terrible. But they did not flinch. They did not hesitate. They were warriors, defenders, heroes who would fight whatever threatened their world. We'll be ready, Do-hyun promised. Just like before. We'll fight, and we'll win. We know you will, the voice said. That is why your ancestors chose this planet. Humanity's greatest strength is not technology or weapons. It is your refusal to surrender. Your ability to face impossible odds and still fight. That spirit will save you again. The submarine's cargo bay filled with ancient technology. Information crystals that contained thousands of years of knowledge. Weapons that could harm things conventional arms could not touch. And blueprints for vessels designed to fight in ways humans had never imagined. As they prepared to ascend, Do-hyun took one last look at the ancient structure. Will we see you again? Perhaps. If you survive, if humanity proves worthy, but know this, you have already proven yourselves once. A single old submarine defeated an entire alien fleet. That kind of courage is rare in the universe. Cherish it, use it, pass it on to future generations. The structure's lights dimmed. The voice fell silent. But the message was clear. Humanity had a destiny, a purpose, to stand against threats that other species could not face. The submarine rose through the dark water, carrying hope and knowledge back to the surface. On the bridge, Do-hyun thought about Jiwon, about the Baekdu, about all the people who sacrificed everything to protect Earth. Their legacy would continue. The fight would go on, and humanity would be ready 3 years. That's how long they had to prepare for the Leviathan. It seemed impossible. But then again, defeating an alien invasion fleet with a Cold War submarine had seemed impossible too. Minho stood beside his captain. We've faced worse odds, Do-hyun smiled. Have we? Well, no. But we've faced bad odds before, and we won. Then we'll win again. Do-hyun looked at his crew. Good people. Brave people. The kind of warriors humanity would always need. Whatever comes next, we face it together. The submarine broke through the surface into bright sunlight. Around them, the ocean stretched endlessly, calm, beautiful, hiding secrets in its depths. Secrets humanity was only beginning to understand. But one thing was certain. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Earth would not face them alone. The crew of the Baekdu had started something. A new era of human courage. A legacy that would inspire generations. And somewhere in the deep darkness of the Mariana Trench, the ancient structure continued its eternal watch, waiting, monitoring, ready to guide humanity when the time came. The story of Earth's defenders was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning. The Baekdu descended into the Mariana Trench at a crawl. Every meter deeper made the hull groan louder. Water dripped from dozens of small leaks. Sang-hoon and his repair crews worked frantically, welding patches and sealing cracks. Depth, 2,000 meters, Minho called out. Hull stress at maximum tolerance. Keep going, Do-hyun ordered. We need to go deeper. The main alien fleet is still up there. Through the periscope, Do-hyun could see them, hundreds of alien warships floating in formation above the trench. The entire invasion fleet had gathered. They were waiting, watching, knowing the submarine had to surface eventually. They've positioned themselves perfectly, Yoonji said, studying the alien formation. When we run out of air or power, we'll have to come up. Right into their trap. How long can we stay down here? Do-hyun asked Sang-hoon. The engineer checked his gauges. Reactor is failing. Hull damage is getting worse. Oxygen recycling is damaged. 6 hours, maybe 8. Then we have to surface or die. 6 hours. Do-hyun looked at his crew. They had fought so hard, destroyed so many enemy ships, struck the first real blow against the alien occupation. But it was not enough. They would die here, trapped in the deepest part of the ocean, unless Do-hyun pulled Ji-won aside. You said you had one experimental weapon left. The seismic charge, she nodded. Yes, but it's untested. I built it from alien technology we salvaged. The theory is sound, but what does it do? It creates a massive vibration in the Earth's crust, like an artificial earthquake. If placed correctly, it could trigger an underwater landslide. Do-hyun looked at the map of the trench. The walls were steep, unstable. Millions of tons of rock and sediment balanced on the edge, held in place by nothing but friction and time. An earthquake could bring it all down, and the alien fleet was hovering directly above the trench. If we trigger a landslide, Do-hyun said slowly, and the debris falls into the trench, it would create a massive gravitational pull. Yoonji finished his thought. She was already running calculations. The alien ships use anti-gravity to hover, but if millions of tons of rock suddenly start falling, it creates a vortex. The ships would be pulled down. Would it work? Minyo asked. In theory. Yoonji looked at the numbers. But we'd need perfect placement. And the timing has to be exact. If we're too close when it detonates, we'll be caught in the landslide too. So we die either way, Sang-hoon said flatly. Surrender and die. Surface and die. Or try this and probably die. But if we try this, Do-hyun said, we take them with us. The entire invasion fleet. We end the occupation. The crew fell silent. They understood what he was proposing. A suicide mission. One last desperate attack, but also a chance to save Earth. I'm in, Ji-won said first. Me too, Junho added. One by one, every crew member volunteered. They had all lost someone to the aliens. Family, friends, home. This was their chance for revenge. For justice. For humanity. Then we do it, Do-hyun said. Ji-won, prepare the seismic charge. Sang-hoon, I need every bit of speed you can give me. When that weapon detonates, we need to be far away. The next 2 hours were spent in frantic preparation. Ji-won worked on the weapon, making final adjustments. Sang-hoon pushed the reactor to absolute limits, preparing for one last burst of speed. Minho plotted their escape route through the trench. But there was a problem. The seismic charge had to be planted manually. Someone needed to go into the flooded torpedo room to arm and deploy it. The pressure at this depth would kill anyone instantly if the room was open to the ocean. I'll do it, Ji-won said. I built the weapon. I know how to arm it. The pressure, Do-hyun started. I know. She smiled sadly. But there's a pressure suit. It will protect me long enough to finish the job. Do-hyun wanted to refuse, to find another way. But there was no other way, and they were out of time. Do it, he said quietly. Ji-won put on the heavy pressure suit. She took the seismic charge and entered the flooded compartment. Through the internal camera, the crew watched her work. Her movements were slow, deliberate. The pressure made everything difficult. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. Ji-won's breathing over the radio grew labored. The suit was failing. But she kept working. Almost done, she gasped. Just need to connect the final circuit. Ji-won, you need to get out of there, Do-hyun said. Now, can't have to finish. If I leave now, weapon won't work. The crew watched helplessly. Ji-won's hands were shaking now. The suit was definitely failing. But still she worked. One connection. Then another. Then the final wire. Done, she said. Weapon is armed. Set it for 5-minute delay. That should give you time to get clear. Ji-won, open the door. Come back inside, Do-hyun ordered. Can't, Captain. Suit is failing. If I open the door now, water will flood the entire submarine. You'll all die. That's an order, Lieutenant. Sorry, sir. Can't follow that one. She laughed weakly. Tell my parents. Tell them I did something important. Tell them I helped save Earth. Tears ran down Do-hyun's face. I will, I promise. Good, now go. Get out of here. The countdown has started. Do-hyun wiped his eyes. He turned to his crew. Deploy the weapon. Emergency ascent. All power to engines now. The seismic charge launched from the torpedo tube. It sank into the trench wall, burying itself deep in the unstable rock. The countdown began. 5 minutes until detonation. The Bekdu tilted upward sharply. Engines roared at maximum power. The submarine climbed desperately toward the surface. Behind them, Ji-won remained in the flooded compartment. Alone. Dying. But satisfied that her last act would matter. The crew listened to her breathing over the radio. Slow. Steady. Then it stopped. Seconds later, the seismic charge detonated. The ocean floor shook. Rock formations that had stood for millions of years began to crack. Then collapse. The entire western wall of the Mariana Trench started sliding down. Millions of tons, billions of tons, an avalanche of stone and sediment falling into the deepest part of the ocean. The alien fleet above felt it immediately. Their anti-gravity systems detected the massive change in gravitational forces. They tried to compensate, tried to pull away. But the vortex was too strong. One by one, the alien ships were dragged down. They fired their engines at full power. Some managed to escape, but most were caught. The landslide pulled them into the trench like insects caught in a whirlpool. The alien flagship fought hardest. Its powerful engines nearly broke free. But then a massive boulder struck its side. The impact sent the ship tumbling. It fell into the darkness. The fleet commander and hundreds of aliens died as the water pressure crushed their vessel. The Bekdu burst through the surface. The crew stumbled onto the deck, gasping for fresh air. Behind them, the ocean churned and boiled. Explosions lit up the water as alien ships were destroyed. The invasion fleet was being obliterated. Do-hyun watched it all. Triumph mixed with grief. They had won. Earth was saved. But the cost was high. Ji-won was gone. And the Bekdu was sinking. Too much damage. Too many leaks. The old submarine had given everything. Abandon ship, he ordered. Everyone to the life rafts. We're going home. The crew evacuated quickly. They piled into rubber rafts and paddled away from the dying submarine. Do-hyun was the last to leave. He stood on the deck as the Bekdu slipped beneath the waves. Thank you, he whispered to the old machine. You saved us all. The submarine disappeared into the depths. But its legacy remained. Around the world, people watched footage of the alien fleet's destruction. Hope spread like wildfire. Humanity could fight back. Humanity could win. As rescue ships arrived to pick up the crew, Do-hyun looked at the ocean. Somewhere down there, Ji-won rested with the Bekdu, a hero, a warrior, someone who gave everything so others could live. We'll remember you, he promised. We'll all remember. The Bekdu raced through the dark water at maximum speed. Behind them, alien warships closed the distance. Their advanced engines were faster. Their weapons had longer range. Every minute brought them closer to catching the submarine. Junho called out positions constantly. Lead ships are 3 kilometers back. Second group at 5 kilometers. They're spreading out to surround us. Sang-hoon pushed the engines beyond their limits. Warning lights flashed across his panel. The reactor temperature climbed into the red zone. We can't maintain this speed for long. The engines will fail. How long? Do-hyun demanded. 20 minutes. Maybe 30 if we're lucky. Minho checked their position. The trench edge is 40 minutes away at this speed. The math was simple and cruel. They would not make it. The engines would fail before they reached safety, or the aliens would catch them. Either way, the Bekdu was running out of time. Ji-won studied her weapons panel. We have 8 torpedoes remaining. If we turn and fight against 20 ships? Sang-hoon shook his head. We'd last 2 minutes. Dr. Yoonji was working frantically at her station analyzing the alien pursuit patterns. Wait, look at their formation. They're not trying to catch us directly. Do-hyun moved to her console. Explain. They're hurting us. Pushing us away from shallow water. Forcing us toward deeper areas where their ships have advantages. But we're heading toward the trench, Minho said. They can't follow us there. Maybe they don't need to. Yoonji pulled up more data. If they're trying to hurt us, that means they have something waiting. A trap. Do-hyun felt cold realization wash over him. The aliens were not stupid. They knew about the trench. They knew a submarine might try to hide there. So they prepared for it. Junho scanned ahead. Full active sonar. Find whatever they put there. The young technician activated the sonar pulse. The sound wave traveled through the water ahead of them. For several seconds, nothing appeared. Then the returns came back. Junho's face went pale. Contact ahead. Large signature. Very large. It's positioned right at the trench edge. One of their capital ships? Minho asked. Bigger. Much bigger. And it's not moving. It's waiting. The trap was clear now. The aliens chasing them from behind. A massive warship blocking the trench ahead. The Bekdu was caught between hammer and anvil with no way out. The control room fell silent. Every crew member understood their situation. They had minutes to live, maybe less. Then G1 spoke quietly. Sir, I have an idea. It's risky. We're already dead, Doyun said bluntly. What's your idea? She brought up a map of the ocean floor. There's an underwater canyon system 5 kilometers to our east. The walls are steep. Very narrow. Their big ships can't follow us in there. But the smaller ships can, Sang-hoon pointed out. Yes, but in a narrow canyon, they can only come at us 1 or 2 at a time. We'd have a chance. Minho was already calculating. The canyon leads to the trench eventually. If we survive the canyon, we can still escape into deep water. Do-hyun made his decision in seconds. Hard turn to port. Take us into that canyon. All available speed. The Bekdu banked sharply. The old submarine groaned from the stress. Equipment rattled. Crew members grabbed supports to keep from falling. But the turn worked. They changed course, angling away from the waiting capital ship toward the canyon system. The alien pursuit fleet reacted immediately. Their formation broke apart. Smaller ships peeled away from the main group, chasing the Bekdu toward the canyon. The larger vessels slowed, unable to follow into the narrow passage. 6 ships following us, Junho reported. They're gaining. How long until we reach the canyon? 2 minutes, and until they're in weapons range? 90 seconds, they were not going to make it. The aliens would start shooting before the Bekdu reached safety. Do-hyun knew they needed something to slow the pursuit. Just 30 seconds. That's all they needed. G1, load tubes 5 and 6. Set them for proximity detonation. Fire when ready. Firing blind behind us? She asked. We don't need to hit them. Just make them cautious. Fire. 2 torpedoes launched backward from the Bekdu. They were not aimed at specific targets. Instead, they were programmed to explode when alien ships came close. Mine warfare. Old tactics for a desperate situation. The pursuing aliens detected the torpedoes immediately. They broke formation, scattering to avoid the weapons. One ship moved too slowly. The proximity fuse triggered. The explosion caught the alien vessel's side, tearing open its hull. 1 enemy ship destroyed, Junho called out. The others are slowing down. They're being more careful. That's all we needed, Do-hyun pointed ahead. There, the canyon entrance. A massive crack in the ocean floor appeared before them. The canyon walls rose hundreds of meters high on both sides, creating a narrow passage through solid rock. The Bekdu plunged into the entrance, disappearing into the geological maze. Inside the canyon, visibility dropped to almost nothing. Rock walls pressed close on either side. Sang-hoon guided them carefully, using minimal maneuvering power to avoid collisions. 1 wrong move and they would crash into stone. 5 alien ships entering behind us, Junho said. They're following. Good, Ji-won said grimly. She was already loading another torpedo. In here they have to come at us in a line. We can take them 1 at a time. The first alien ship appeared on sonar, moving cautiously through the canyon behind them. It was being careful, scanning ahead for threats, but careful would not save it. Fire tube 7, Do-hyun ordered. The torpedo launched and sped down the narrow canyon. The alien ship tried to evade, but there was no room to maneuver. The weapon struck dead center. The explosion was amplified by the canyon walls, the pressure wave bouncing back and forth. The alien ship was torn apart. Target destroyed, Ji-won reported with satisfaction. The remaining 4 alien ships slowed. They were reassessing. 2 of their vessels destroyed in minutes. This primitive submarine was more dangerous than they expected, but the aliens were not retreating. They adapted their tactics. 2 ships stayed back while the other 2 advanced together, side by side where the canyon widened slightly. Smart, Minho muttered. They're using teamwork now. The battle continued through the winding canyon. The Bekdu fired torpedoes when it had clear shots. The aliens fired energy weapons when they could lock on. Both sides took damage. The submarine's outer hull was scarred by near misses. 1 alien ship crashed into a canyon wall trying to dodge. Minutes stretched into an hour. The running fight pushed deeper into the canyon system. The Baekdu's torpedo count dropped. 8 torpedoes, then 6, then 4. "We're winning," Ji-won said. "Only 2 alien ships left." But winning came at a cost. Sang-hoon reported problems throughout the submarine. Hull integrity at 70%. Multiple leaks in aft compartments. Reactor temperature critical. "We need to surface soon for repairs." "How soon?" "Hours, not days." Do-hyun looked at the map. The canyon ended 5 kilometers ahead, opening directly into the Mariana Trench. Deep water. Safety. But first they had to deal with the last 2 alien pursuers. "Prepare tubes for simultaneous launch," he ordered. "We end this now." The Baekdu slowed, turning to face its pursuers. The 2 alien ships approached carefully. They knew the submarine was dangerous. They had watched 3 of their companions die, but they also knew the Baekdu was damaged, bleeding, weakening. "Ready," Ji-won said, her hand on the firing controls. "Wait," Do-hyun said quietly. "Wait until they're closer. We only get 1 shot." The alien ships moved forward. 1 kilometer. 800 meters. 500 meters. Their weapons began charging, energy building for the killing shot. "Now," Do-hyun whispered. "Fire everything." 4 torpedoes launched simultaneously. The alien ships tried to evade, but 4 weapons were too many to dodge. Explosions lit up the canyon. Both alien vessels were destroyed in seconds. Silence fell over the Baekdu. The battle was over. 6 alien warships destroyed. The submarine had survived. Barely. "All torpedoes expended," Ji-won reported. "We're defenseless." "Then we run," Do-hyun said. "Make for the trench." Emergency speed. The battered submarine limped toward the canyon exit. Behind them, wreckage of alien ships littered the passage. Ahead, the trench waited. Dark. Deep. Unknown. But it offered something the Baekdu desperately needed. A place to hide. A place to heal. A chance to survive and fight another day. The morning sun barely broke through the thick gray clouds hanging over the ruined city. Do-hyun stood on the empty dock, staring at the old submarine before him. The metal hull was covered in rust and barnacles, paint peeled from its sides. This machine had not moved in 20 years. 3 months had passed since the aliens arrived. Their massive ships appeared in the sky without warning. Earth's modern military tried to fight back, but the alien weapons were too strong. Missiles stopped working before they reached the targets. Fighter jets fell from the sky. Computers went dark. Within weeks, most of the world's armies were destroyed. Do-hyun received his orders 2 days ago. The message was simple. Return to duty. Bring the Baekdu back to life. Save what remains of humanity. He thought they were joking at first. The Baekdu was ancient technology from the Cold War. It belonged in a museum, not a battlefield. But now he understood. Modern weapons failed because the aliens used electromagnetic pulses that shut down all electronics. The Baekdu was different. It ran on old analog systems, switches and dials instead of computers, steel and brass instead of microchips. The aliens could not disable what they did not expect. Footsteps echoed behind him. Do-hyun turned to see a younger man approaching. The man wore a faded naval uniform and carried a worn duffel bag. "Commander Minho Park reporting for duty, sir," the man said with a salute. Do-hyun returned the salute. He remembered Minho from years ago. The young officer had been the best sonar technician in the fleet. Sharp mind, quick reflexes, good under pressure. "I thought you left the Navy," Do-hyun said. "I did. Started teaching at the university. But then the aliens came." Minho looked at the submarine. "My family is in occupied territory. If this boat can help get them back, I want to be here." More people arrived throughout the morning. Sang-hoon, the chief engineer, came with a toolbox nearly as old as the submarine itself. He had maintained the Baekdu during its final years of service. If anyone could make it work again, Sang-hoon could. Ji-won arrived next. She was young for a weapons officer, barely 30 years old, but her file showed impressive scores in tactics and unconventional warfare. She had volunteered immediately when the call went out for crew members. "Sir, I heard what we're doing," Ji-won said to Do-hyun. "I have some ideas about the torpedoes. We can modify them." "We'll discuss it once we're underway," Do-hyun replied. "First, we need to see if this thing still floats." A civilian woman came last. Dr. Yoon-ji-han was not military, but her expertise in alien biology made her essential. She had studied the wreckage of downed alien ships. She understood their technology better than anyone else on Earth. The aliens are efficient, Yunji explained during their first briefing inside the cramped submarine. But they're also arrogant. They believe humans are primitive. They won't expect us to fight back with something this old. She spread papers across the navigation table. The documents showed alien ship designs and energy readings. Their shields are powerful in air and space, she continued. But water is different. Water is dense. Their energy shields become unstable underwater. They destabilize and fail. Do-hyun leaned forward. So we can hurt them underwater? Yes, if you can get close enough. Sang-hoon spent 2 days working on the submarine systems. He cursed and hammered and welded. Ancient pumps groaned back to life. The reactor, miraculously, still had enough fuel to operate. Slowly, the Baekdu transformed from a dead relic into something that could move again. She won't win any speed races, Sang-hoon reported. But the engines work. The hull is solid. We can dive. What about weapons? Do-hyun asked. Torpedoes are old but functional. Ji-won says she can improve them. We have 12 shots. Make them count. On the third day, they received their first mission. Intelligence reported alien activity in the Pacific Ocean. The aliens were building underwater mining stations. They were stealing resources from Earth's ocean floor. Heavy metals, rare elements, fuel for their war machine. We leave at sunset, Do-hyun told his crew. Check your stations. This is not a drill. As darkness fell, the Baekdu slipped quietly from the dock. The submarine moved slowly through the harbor, then out into open water. Do-hyun stood in the control room, surrounded by gauges and analog instruments that had not changed in half a century. Take us down, he ordered. The submarine tilted forward. Water rushed over the hull. The crew fell silent as depth increased. 50 meters, 100 meters, 200 meters. The pressure grew with each passing second. Ancient metal groaned and creaked. Leveling off at 300 meters, Minho called out from his station. They moved through the dark ocean in complete silence. No engines running. No lights showing. Just drifting on ocean currents like a ghost. This was what the Baekdu was designed for. Silent running. Invisible hunting. Hours passed. Then Junho, the young sonar technician, raised his hand. His eyes were closed, listening through his headphones to sounds the equipment barely detected. Contact, Junho whispered. Bearing 270. Distance 8 kilometers. It sounds wrong, not natural. Alien vessel? Do-hyun asked. Yes, sir. But bigger than the fighters we've seen. Much bigger. The crew tensed. This was it. Their first encounter with the enemy. Do-hyun felt his heart racing but kept his voice steady. All stations battle ready. Maintain silent running. Let them pass over us. The alien ship grew louder on sonar. A deep thrumming sound like nothing Earth technology made. It moved above them. Its shadow visible through the periscope even at this depth. The ship was massive, easily 3 times the size of the Baekdu. They're scanning, Minho reported. Active sonar. They're looking for something. Looking for us, Sang-hoon muttered. But the alien ship continued past them. Its sensors swept through the water over the Baekdu and found nothing. The old submarine's hull was too simple, too basic. The advanced alien technology could not distinguish it from the rocks and debris on the ocean floor. Junho listened as the alien vessel moved away. Contact fading. They're leaving. Relief washed through the control room, but Do-hyun felt something else. Excitement. Understanding. The aliens were powerful, but they were blind to threats they did not expect. We're invisible to them, he said quietly. They cannot see us. Minho looked at his captain. Then we have an advantage. Yes. Do-hyun allowed himself a small smile. Prepare attack solutions. Find me that mining station. We're going hunting. The crew moved with renewed energy. For 3 months, humanity had been losing. For 3 months, people had died while the aliens took everything. But now in the cold darkness of the deep ocean, Earth had found its weapon. An ancient submarine that nobody expected. A crew ready to fight. And the element of surprise that could change everything. The Baekdu moved forward through the black water, silent as death, ready to strike. The mining station appeared on sonar like a metallic spider clinging to the ocean floor. 6 long legs anchored it to the rock while drilling equipment pulled precious metals from deep beneath the Earth's crust. Lights from the alien structure pierced the darkness, creating an eerie glow in the deep water. Do-hyun studied the target through the periscope. The station was larger than intelligence reported. At least 50 aliens worked on the platform. Small transport ships moved back and forth carrying mined materials to the surface. Weapon status, he said quietly. Jiwan checked her station. Torpedoes ready, sir. I modified 4 of them with the alien power cells we salvaged. They should penetrate their shields better than conventional explosives. Should? Sang-hoon raised an eyebrow. We won't know until we try, Jiwan admitted. But the theory is sound. Do-hyun made his decision. Load tubes 1 through 4 with the modified torpedoes. Prepare firing solution. The Baekdu moved closer, sliding between underwater rock formations. The mining station's drilling created vibrations that masked their approach. Junho monitored sonar constantly, watching for patrol ships. 2 escort vessels, Junho reported. Small fighters. They're circling the station at 1 kilometer distance. How can they detect us? Do-hyun asked. Not yet. The drilling noise is helping. They're relying on it for security. Dr. Yoonji studied her instruments. The station's shields are active but weak. They're designed to protect against debris, not weapons. They don't expect an attack down here. Their mistake, Minho said grimly. The Baekdu reached optimal firing range. 800 meters. Close enough for accuracy. Far enough to escape after the attack. Do-hyun took a deep breath. This was the moment. Earth's first counterattack against the alien occupation. Fire tubes 1 and 2, he ordered. Jiwan pressed the firing controls. 2 torpedoes launched from the Baekdu with a muffled thump. They streaked through the water, leaving trails of bubbles behind them. 30 seconds to impact. Jiwan counted down. The wait felt eternal. Every member of the crew watched their instruments. The torpedoes appeared as small blips on sonar, moving fast toward the mining station. The aliens remained unaware. They continued working, believing they were safe in the deep ocean. 10 seconds, Jiwan said. Then the mining station's alarms activated. The aliens finally detected the incoming weapons. But too late. Far too late. The first torpedo struck the station's central support. The modified warhead punched through the weak shields like they were paper. The explosion tore a massive hole in the structure. Alien workers were thrown into the water by the blast. The second torpedo hit 3 seconds later. This one struck the drilling equipment. The alien machinery exploded in a chain reaction. Stored energy cells detonated. The entire mining station began breaking apart. Direct hits. Jiwan shouted. The station is destroyed. Brief celebration filled the control room. Crew members shook hands and grinned. They had done it. They had hurt the aliens, but Do-hyun remained focused on the tactical situation. Junho, where are those escort ships? The sonar technician's expression changed instantly. They're turning toward us. Both vessels, speed increasing. They know we're here. Emergency dive, Do-hyun commanded. Take us down now! The Baekdu tilted sharply downward. The crew grabbed handholds as the submarine plunged deeper. 400 meters, 500 meters, 600 meters. The hull groaned under increasing pressure. Alien weapons fired, Junho reported. Energy beams. They're firing blind, trying to hit us. Bright blue flashes lit up the water above them. The alien weapons superheated the ocean, creating massive steam bubbles. But the shots missed. The Baekdu was already too deep, hidden in the darkness below. They're following us down, Minho said, studying his instruments. But slowly. They're not built for deep diving. Sang-hoon checked the depth gauge. We're at 700 meters. The hull can take it, but not much more. 800 meters, Do-hyun said. Take us to 800. Captain, that's beyond our rated depth, Sang-hoon warned. I know. But those alien ships can't follow us that deep. Do it, the Baekdu continued its descent. The metal hull creaked and popped. Everyone could hear the stress on the old submarine. They were pushing the vessel beyond its design limits. But they had no choice. At 800 meters, Do-hyun ordered them to level off. The submarine hung in the darkness, barely moving. Above them, the 2 alien escort ships circled at 600 meters. Their sensors swept back and forth, searching. They can't find us, Junho whispered. Too much interference from thermal layers. Minutes passed like hours. The crew remained perfectly still. Any noise might give away their position. The alien ships continued hunting, but eventually their search pattern moved away. They're leaving, Minho reported. Heading back toward the surface. Do-hyun waited another 10 minutes before speaking. Begin slow ascent. Bring us back to safe depth. As the Baekdu rose through the water, the crew began to relax. They had survived their first real combat. More importantly, they had proven the mission concept worked. An old submarine could strike at the aliens and escape. But Junho's voice cut through their relief. Captain, I'm picking up new contacts. Multiple vessels. At least 6. No, more than that. 10 contacts, 15, they're everywhere. The control room went silent. Doyen felt ice in his stomach. Bearing? All directions, sir. They're forming a search grid. This isn't patrol ships. This is a hunter fleet. Dr. Yunji pulled up communication intercepts on her equipment. I'm reading alien military channels. They're calling this a priority hunt. Someone important ordered it. How important? Minho asked. Fleet commander level. They want us dead. They want us dead badly. Do-hyun studied the tactical display. 20 alien vessels now showed on sonar. They were coordinating their search, closing in from all sides. Running was not an option. The Baekdu was too slow to outrun them. Fighting was suicide. 20 ships against one ancient submarine. What do we do, Captain? Ji-won asked quietly. Do-hyun looked at the map of the ocean floor. There, 30 kilometers north, was something the aliens did not know about. The Mariana Trench, the deepest part of Earth's ocean. A place where no alien ship could follow. But it was also a place the Baekdu might not survive. The pressure at those depths could crush even a military submarine. Still, certain death chasing them meant they had to take the risk. Set course 340, Do-hyun ordered. Full speed. We're heading for the trench. Sir, that's... Sang-hoon started. I know what it is, Do-hyun interrupted. But it's our only chance. The aliens won't follow us there. They can't, Minho nodded slowly. And if the Baekdu can't handle the pressure? Do-hyun met his first officer's eyes. Then we die trying to escape instead of waiting to be destroyed. I prefer that choice. The crew looked at each other. Fear showed on their faces. But also determination. They had volunteered for this mission knowing the risks. They had already struck the first blow against the alien occupation. If they had to die, they would die fighting. All ahead full, Do-hyun commanded. The Baekdu's engines roared to life. The old submarine surged forward, racing toward the edge of the trench with 20 alien warships in pursuit. Behind them, the destroyed mining station burned in the darkness, a symbol of humanity's refusal to surrender.